This youth generation, Dion Price, has been a challenging week. Real time dealing with some real time challenges with some young men that we are mentoring, and it's appropriate that this conversation is rooted in a recent article entitled "Self-Inflicted Wounds and the Inability for One Person to Say No to Themselves." How powerful that is, and how damaging it is for a person to not have the ability to discipline themselves, to deny whatever their desires may be, particularly if those desires are harmful, hazardous, or dangerous to themselves or people around them. The ability to say no to yourself. And we have some high profile examples of that. And I love using those because life skills through sports, life skills through modern entertainment, and to social media, and to modern culture, we have some very good examples of what not to do or what happens when men, and anyone in general, grow up to the point where they do not have the self discipline and the ability to say no to themselves and have self control. What comes to mind is particularly sexual desires, sexual immorality. We have some very high profile examples. The situation with Mr. Shannon Sharp, Mr. R. Kelly, Mr. Sean Diddy Combs. These are just high profile examples of what happens when a man lacks self control and the inability to say no to themselves. If you are a father, or if you are a mentor, mentee, or coach, and you have young men, and we just focus on young men, but this goes both ways to men and women, teach and instill in them the ability to self-discipline at an early age, preferably, and even as we become in adulthood. Do you have the ability to restrict yourself, to discipline your eyes, to tell yourself you should not be looking at that because that could lead to something else? You should not be eating that because that's unhealthy. You should not be indulging in this activity because it's dangerous. You should not be staying up all night if you have to be somewhere in the morning. Something as simple as that. Can you discipline yourself? Me mentoring a young man very close to me, I've been coaching him on check yourself and instill the ability to say no to yourself. And I asked him, when the last time you said no to yourself? It's desire, telling yourself you can't do that. And he couldn't answer that. I gave him an example. If you have to be at school in the morning, college, grade school, high school, or work, whatever, at 8 in the morning, are you up to 3 o'clock in the morning playing video games? Do you have the self-discipline to say, you know what, let me shut this off. I do not need to be doing. Do you have the ability to say, no, I'm not doing this because I have business to handle in the morning. I need to get a good night's sleep. That's the value of having the ability to say no to yourself. Do you have the ability, if you're a married man and you see something attractive, a woman from the opposite sex, and she gives you eye contact, gives you some attention, do you have the ability to say no to yourself? I'm not going there. I value my life. I respect my wife. I fear God. So I'm not going to lead myself into doing something that could lead me into a world of trouble or immorality. Do you have the ability to say no to yourself? If you have the desire to indulge in recreational activities, maybe it's drinking, do you have the ability to say, no, I've had enough. I'm not going to overdrink. I know what that brown liquor does to me, so I'm not going to do it. Do you have the ability? Are you addicted to online gambling or any type of gambling? Do you have the ability and the strength and the self-discipline to say, no, I love myself, I love my life, to not go down there because I know where that can lead? An addictive and dangerous road of gambling addiction is a real thing. Do you have the ability to stop smoking so much? Marijuana surprisingly does a lot more damage than people realize. Deadens your senses, kills your motivations, oppresses your motivation, does a lot of things in addition to a lot of unhealthy things. I got to be sharp mentally. So do I want to put myself in a sedated state where I'm consistently depending on marijuana? Do I have the ability to say no to myself? Right? This is what leads men to a reckless lifestyle, not only to themselves, but to people around them. I have the ability to say no to myself at times, and you need to have this as a young man. If we're mentoring young men, this is one of the key principles we want to have them the ability to do. The ability to have self-discipline and the ability to say no to themselves and direct them into a healthier lifestyle. We teach this in our mentoring training class, but it starts with yourself, leading by example. You have to start with yourself. Can I check myself? Because no man is going to force anyone to do anything. When a person is grown, you can't force a grown person to do a dang thing. They have to have the internal desire to want to do it themselves. So all we can do is inspire them to want to do these things. And all this is rooted in Scripture. Desire is all biblical and in the Word. All this is rooted in Scripture. Just a thought, just a message. This your generation, Dion Price. Just a humble servant trying to make a difference.